Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Dirty Gaming and a new video on the channel going over the currency exchange in beginner terms for anyone that may have not used it or are using it and are struggling to understand whether they're using it to the best of its ability or whether you're just a bit confused when you try it and go through your trades. So the very basics, it is a currency exchange system that you use through Faustus. Faustus you will encounter in King's March. If he's not in your hideout, you can go over to him. He'll be in the tavern. You can click on him and there'll be a button for him to go to your hideout. He will then always be there for you to trade with, so you don't have to go to King's March to process your trades. So simply put, it is an exchange. You can give an item for an item that you want to receive, and it costs you gold to list your items. First thing I'm going to go through is just what you can sell on the exchange. And you can see here it is a variety of things. Essentially, the majority of things that stack, you can sell on the exchange. There are some things that you cannot sell, like maps, uniques, contracts, things like that. But anything that stacks, like currency, scarabs, splinters, oils, as you can see here, omens, even though they don't stack, you seem to be able to buy those. Tattoos can stack, so you can sell those. Your expedition currency, life force. I would think 75 to 80% of the things that you farm, you can sell on the exchange. And that is all I've used to sell my items of this type. I haven't interacted with the trade site or external forums at all. I've sold everything through the currency exchange. So what we'll do first off is set up a few basic trades. So I have 5,000 gold on my character, which should be enough to do a few trades. First thing to go through is a few shortcuts. But if you forget how to process things on the exchange, you can hover over I and it will give you all the different shortcuts that you can use. So we'll just go and sell some basic things so we can get an understanding of how the exchange works. I'll go through a few shortcuts as well. So just get some chaos into your window. Any amount is fine. We're just using it to tell the exchange that we want chaos. And then we're going to pick something to sell. We're going to go in and we're going to sell some scarabs. So I'm going to go to my fragment tab, scarabs, and we're going to sell our 4 cartography scarab of escalation. This is the way I would do the exchange if you only have one thing that you want to sell. So you'll click on Faustus, click on exchange, and then press I to bring up your inventory. Control left click will put something into I have. Control shift and left click will put it into I want. So I have cartography scarab of escalation and I want chaos orbs. Let's put that into the window. Now what I bring you up here is a market ratio, which is essentially what people want to buy these for. So there are open trades for this amount for those items. What this means is if you want an instant sale, you could just go in, sell them for 2.5 chaos each, and they're going to sell straight away and you can withdraw your money from the exchange. You probably very likely not want to take the market ratio because it's likely that they're worth a little bit more. If you want to see what other people are selling for, if you hold Alt while hovering over the ratio, it will bring in competing trades. These are trades that are set up for people already selling these scarabs. Now you can see realistically the best price is 3 to 1. So if you were to set yours at 3 to 1, there is a lot in there, but they should sell in a few minutes. If, however, you just wanted to quickly rush through your trades, there's not a huge amount of difference between 2.5 chaos and 3. You might decide just to sell them for that. So we're going to put that we have 4, which we do. And I'm just going to say I'm happy to take the market ratio for this one, which is 2 to 5. And then it's just going to go instantly. So we've got our 10 chaos. That's the trade done. So let's go and pick a trade where we're going to try and wait for the offer to come in because we think we want to get the best market value for it. So again, we'll stick with cartography scarabs and we'll see if these are worth anything. Currency exchange again, control left click for I have. And you can see here, they are available for 2.86, but we could sell them easily for 3. So let's say we want to sell these 6 for 3 chaos. And that's going to be 18 chaos for 6 of these scarabs. Again, we'll place the order. They won't go instantly because there isn't a market for that. But because we are the best priced on the market, these should sell fairly quickly. As you can see, they're already starting to sell. So that's how you go about doing a trade if you just want to sell a few things with some shortcuts. If you want to sell lots at the same time, the way you're going to want to do it is go into I have. And then you can either click on owned and it will give you a small snapshot of stuff that you own that can sell, but you have to scroll down through every single different type that you have in your inventory. For these to show up, you just need to make sure that what you're looking to sell is in the first few tabs here. If you stick it right at the end, it's not going to pick it up because it only scans the first few tabs. So I want to sell some scarabs, so I'll put my frags at the top just to make sure they get picked up. We'll go to currency exchange, I have, and then scarabs. And what this will do is it will give you a list of all of the scarabs that are available, and it will put in a number of the amount that you have. One thing I would do firstly is just check popular, because these are going to be the things that sell regularly, so likely to be more expensive. So the ambush scarab of containment is expensive. I could get easily 215, 220 chaos for it, but as you can see, it's quite expensive to sell in chaos. I don't have the gold because I was just finishing my mapping. I've only got a little bit of gold left, but if I had the gold, I could just place that up for 215 and sell it straight away. So let's go and just look through our scarabs and just pick some random scarabs. So whatever this is, Titanic scarab, we've got 8 of them. We can see people want 2 for 1 chaos, and the market ratio seems to be actually about 1.5 chaos for 1 scarab. So let's just sell 8 of these, and we're going to sell them for 1.38, which is undercutting the market, but it should get me what I want. So we'll place that order, and then we'll wait for that to come through. So that order has now gone onto the market. I'm the cheapest at 1.38 scarabs per chaos, and I'll need to sell all 8 to be able to get that rate because it's a bit of a strange decimal. So we'll just leave that up and see how it gets on. In the meanwhile, another trade that I put up has gone through. But essentially, if you want to get an instant trade, you can just take the market ratio. But I would always check what the competing ratios are to see if there's a massive disparity. Because it might be that people want something for 5 chaos when it's actually 10. Then you don't want to be selling it to someone at a cheap price. You just set it level with the best competing trade. A couple of things to consider when you're using the exchange is, are the items you're selling actually used by a lot of players? If they're not, and you just want to get rid, you're probably best taking whatever the market ratio is, because you don't know how long these items are going to be sitting there if there's something that's not used very often. So you can see here, our exchange has gone through. We did sell them all for 11C, so we've got rid of those scarabs as well. And essentially that's what I do when I want to go through my stash, is I'll go to I have, and I'll go through all of my listings for scarabs and just get them sold. Now, in my opinion, the best way to get your stuff sold on the exchange is to use Wealthy Exile. So I'm just going to go through very quickly to show people this site and how to use it. So it's just wealthyexile.com, and it's basically a website that you can register your PoE account with, connect it up, and it will be able to read your stash tabs. So what you can do is just go into stash here, 3 dots, edit tabs, and it will show you all the tabs that it can find on your character. So if we wanted to sell scarabs, I can click frags here, then go into my stash, and then if we do a snapshot, it's going to show me what I've got in terms of worth. I'm only interested in selling scarabs, so I can click there. And what it's going to do is list in total what the value is of the scarabs I've got. So I can see here, we've got some very expensive scarabs at the top with the glittering and containment. We do have 97 anarchy scarabs because I purchased these for a strategy I didn't run, and they go for a chaos each. So I can go down this list and look very quickly at maybe getting through the first 10, and I'm going to get myself quite a few divines. What this also saves you doing is maybe clicking on all these ones that are maybe worth half a chaos or a chaos. You can concentrate on the ones that are worth big currency. The only thing I will say is that this pulls directly from a website called PoE Ninja, and these prices are very likely to be under what you can get on the exchange. So don't just go blindly in and go, oh, anarchy scarabs are a chaos each. And we'll just show you an example of that now. So if we go into currency exchange, and then we'll go for anarchy scarabs. So if we go and put this anarchy scarab in and look at competing trades, we can see actually that most of the time people want 2 chaos for one of these. And we would have sold them for a chaos if we just went by the Wealthy Exile value. So to get these sold, I might sell them for 1.8. So we might say we want to sell 20 for 38 chaos, or bring them in at 1.9. It's still below the 2 competing offers. And I can put place order, and it will list those up. As soon as someone comes along that wants to buy anarchy scarabs, mine is the best place order, other than someone who has just sold them for 1 each, which will fly off the shelf. So these should sell fairly quickly. So while we wait for those to sell, let's just have a really quick recap. You need gold to sell on the exchange. Market ratio is what people want to buy for. Competing trades are what people are selling the same item for. If you want to sell instantly and you don't care about ratio, you can just take the market ratio. if you want to get the best currency you can, set it quite high with competing trades, but check the values available. So if we look here, for example, someone has listed them 1-for-1, but just for 14 scarabs, and the bulk of them at 1,611 are listed at 2-for-1. So if you list slightly under the best bulk trade, you should sell fairly quickly. In terms of shortcuts, again, control left click I have, control shift left click I want, and make use of the I have. So again, we'll just go into I want, chaos orbs, I have, and again, make use of all of the different availability of the features so you can see exactly what you've got to sell. It's a very easy way of just turning maybe junk that you didn't even know was worth currency into a few divines. The last thing to cover off is you've made all these chaos from the exchange and now you want to turn them into divines. You do it exactly the same way. We'll go into the exchange, currency exchange, but this time we want divines and we have chaos. And again, market ratio, if we wanted to sell immediately, is 180 chaos for a divine. The competing trades, 179. So for the sake of a chaos, I might say I want to turn these straight away into divines. I'll place the order. Now, as you can see, we got a bit of chaos back there because someone actually listed them up for 179.5. So it's given us a better rate. But in general, I don't care if I only want a couple of divines that I'm paying 1C extra for these divines. It doesn't bother me at all. I've quickly turned some of that chaos that I made on the exchange into divines. And then I can go and put that into my stash. I have used the exchange to sell everything that is possible. I haven't sold anything on trade that hasn't been needed to be sold. So things like uniques and guardian maps and things like that, you can't sell on the exchange. But everything that you can sell, I've sold, and I've put a ton of currency into my character, and I'm sitting on plenty of currency still with lots to sell. So if you are a player who hasn't used the exchange much and you feel like you're not making any currency this league, go farm some maps, get yourself 20, 30,000 gold. That's going to be enough to get an absolute ton of currency on the exchange. I've just gone and completed one map just to get enough gold to go through Wealthy Exile and demonstrate how to use them side by side. So I'll just go in and have a look what my most expensive scarabs are that I've got sitting in my stash. I can see I have 2 Horned Scarab of Glittering. So I'm going to go in, I have scarabs, and then you just search glittering. We can see that we've got 2 of them. If we again hold Alt, we can see competing trades between 165 to 170. So if we stick them at 164, because that's going to be the cheapest, and we want to sell 2 of them, then that's going to set them at 164 chaos each. As you can see, when you're selling for a lot of chaos, you use a lot of gold. So if you had enough to sell for divines, that's an option because for some reason it's much cheaper. But we can place that order at 164, and that should sell fairly quickly because ours is the best offer. So I now have 3,200 gold left. So I'll just go into Wealthy Exile again, and let's see if we can sell our Horned Scarab of Pandemonium, because that's probably what I've got enough gold to do. So again, we'll go in currency exchange. I have scarabs, and then just do Pandemonium. And we can see that they are around 88 to 90 C. So we can say 1. I want 89 chaos for it. Or let's just take the market ratio. It's hardly any difference. We'll just go and sell that scarab, get the money. That's already 87 chaos we've got just from using Wealthy Exile. And then if we just check this exchange again, we can see that one's already sold for 164. And if you click on the exchange, you can then just double check the ratios. Ours again is still the best. So before this video is finished, I'm pretty sure that last scarab will have sold. But that's an example of how to use Wealthy Exile. As I say, make sure if you're selling divines worth of stuff in chaos, that you've got a good chunk of gold, because I do think they need to balance how much it costs to sell stuff for a lot of chaos. It took a few minutes, but we've now sold the rest of the scarabs. Because these were priced similar to a divine, we probably could have listed them at divine and waited for them to sell. But we've managed to sell them for chaos, so we can go and put that in our stash. So again, we're building up our chaos. So let's go and sell some chaos for divines again. So we can see 178 again is still the going rate, but to get them gone, we might want to sell them for 179. So we can just go and do 358, I think. And then again, list them up, and that should sell fairly quickly because again, we're going to be the best offer. So yeah, that sold super quick. So then that's got us another 2 divines. And that's how I would normally use the exchange alongside Wealthy Exile. Pick the tab you want to concentrate on selling the items. get them listed in order of value, and then just maybe list the first 9 or 10 things. And that's going to cover the bulk of the currency that you can make for that specific tab. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Hope this video has helped people out. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you in the next one.